Today we're going to be talking about the One D&D Barbarian. Going to be going over really just the changes. Not going to go over every minute detail because most of them are very similar. But we're going to talk about the big changes here, and that starts with the biggest ability that you get, and that's Rage. So, Jake, you want to let us know what they did to Rage?
Yes, Rajay. They have a little accent over the... No, just kidding. So the Rage can now last 10 minutes, and the reason why you can do that is you can continue it as a bonus action. You also can do that by forcing a saving throw or by attacking something. They did remove taking damage or being attacked, that kind of stuff. And the design focus behind that is your rage is about you and what you want to do instead of what happens to you. Based on some of the other bonuses that you get with rage, being able to extend it does offer non-combat uses to get angry and Hulk smash stuff, you know? I mean, I think that's nice to be able to have your advantage on your strength checks and that kind of stuff. So I think it's interesting. I think that's good. I'm certainly willing to try it out. I see no reason why this isn't a good rule.
I like that too, and I think it solves what might not have necessarily been a problem, but I feel like you would often see barbarians being like, all right, I guess I'll use my rage, or even worse, choosing not to use a rage when they would have something outside of combat where they had to like maybe lift a giant boulder or knock a door down or anything like that. Now it's a lot easier for them to say, yes, I'm going to do that, because they're not just getting the one moment and then losing their rage. They have an opportunity to kick down every door, you know? And I think that's cool. I think it's a good change for them.
And thematically, it makes sense because, I mean, I think the fighter and the barbarian probably they get compared to the most. And I think where the fighter, there's tons of overlap, but where the fighter excels in skill, the barbarian should have that just like, you just need raw strength here. I'm your guy. Like that's... Yeah. It works. I like it.
Like the fighter, they do get the new weapon mastery.
Yeah, so instead of having like the feat, it gives you access to one. Barbarians are going to start off every day being able to prepare 2 weapons that they are masters of for the day. Kind of like a caster would prepare their spells in a way. Moving on to the second level feature called Primal Knowledge, which I think is interesting. I'm going to read it and I want to hear your take on it because I just want to hear what you think about it. You gain proficiency in another skill of your choice from the list of skills available to barbarians at first level. In addition...
Sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
You gain proficiency in another skill of your choice from the list of skills available to barbarians at first level. In addition, while your rage is active, you can channel primal power when you attempt certain tasks. Whenever you make an ability check using one of the following skills, you can make it as a strength check, even if it normally uses a different ability. And they list acrobatics, intimidation, perception, stealth, or survival. When you use this ability, your strength represents primal power coursing through and around you.
That's interesting. So the one thing that I'm sure both of us hate, and I think I bet a lot of neckbeards out there hate, is just the idea of using strength for things like acrobatics, perception, stealth. It feels weird when you look at it from they're using strength to do this. But when I take a step back and I say strength is just assumed to be their highest stat, and I think the intent behind this and the fantasy behind this, if you will, is this is your rage, like kind of empowering you to do this. Like you're in that crazy beast mode that, I mean, obviously intimidation, you're going to be able to do that with strength. I think a lot of people house rule that just in general. Acrobatics, like sure, you could be doing anger, rage flips and whatnot.
Yeah, anger tumbles.
Yeah. Perception, I could see that as like a heightened sense of awareness just because of the rage that you're in. Survival is probably the weakest one. Stealth, I could see that too for everything, all the reasons listed already. Survival is probably the weirdest one, but I don't have a problem with it. I think it's kind of cool.
I think it's the flavor that kind of makes me feel itchy. I feel, like it's not
rage
something.
Out of you.
It does. Your rage out of you. Nice. I think if they were to maybe phrase it more as like your rage gives you hyper focus, or like if you want to flavor stealth as that, you're like, okay, so you're like, you become the ultimate predator in this way, or something to like, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can almost kind of make an argument for survival there, but there's something about the flavor that I hope that if they get the wording right, I think everything you said from a mechanical standpoint makes complete sense to me. I feel this like sense of I like it, but I also don't, but I like it and I want to like it. Just give me the better flavor. I don't know. There's something in my suspension of disbelief. It's a me problem, Josh. I think it's a me problem.
It's like I feel like I like it, but I don't like what it represents. And part of what it
That's a
represents,
good way to say it.
everybody has their own version of Magic. Every class has their own. Because
Yeah.
we want that homogenous 1D&D experience, otherwise known as 4th edition.
Well, you know what? We said it the very first 1D&D, the very first 1D&D thing that came out. Anyways, moving on. Brutal Critical is at level 11 now, and it's one of my favorite things they did. I think it's fun. And instead of adding extra dice when you deal a critical hit, you just deal extra damage equal to your barbarian level. So, I mean, right off the bat, you're just going to, no matter what, critical hit, add 11. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Rolling dice is fun. Rolling dice is always going to be more fun than just throwing a static number on top of anything. But there's something to be said about that consistent, reliable, and pretty high damage that you're throwing out there. So I'm all about it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's nice. And I think there's something cool to someone that is typically physically stronger, hitting reliably more hard, especially if they pop you square where they're supposed to get you. It's going to hurt a lot because they're strong. Josh, I think my least favorite thing from this take on the Barbarian is what they did to Primal Champion. They nerfed it.
Look how they massacred my boy.
The capstone. Yeah. You've got classes that could go Nova. They have these like super final form options. And they're like, they could deal like 100 D10 damage with their reaction. But here we can't have nice things as the Barbarian. Instead of getting a +4 to your strength and constitution, it's only +2. Yeah. Why would they do that? Is this an epic boon thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably what it has to be, is they're just trying to make room for other things, but I don't know, man. It's a yikes for me, dog. I liked the +4. I mean, my personal opinion, if you are playing a character and you've either made it to that high of a level, or even if you're just playing in a campaign that you started off pretty high level, you deserve those really cool, amazing capstone abilities or capstone features. And I think the Barbarian, even though it's pretty vanilla, that it's just here's your plus to your attributes or your stats, it's significant. And I think they deserve to be significant for sticking with the class for that long. So it's still good, obviously, but sad to see it get nerfed in half.
And then moving on to the subclasses section, the Path of the Berserker, we have a very nice quality of life update. If anybody's played a Path of the Berserker Barbarian before, it is just such false advertisement. The risk reward was awful. You'd go and take advantage of that bonus action attack, something you could, by the way, accomplish with something like Great Weapon Master or Polar Master, to get the bonus action thing where you could dual wield if you wanted to get that extra attack. You get that point of exhaustion, just such a heavy price. No more, Josh.
I'm just going to read the frenzy feature here. So you can go into a frenzy in battle. If you use Reckless Attack while your rage is active, you deal extra damage to the first target you hit on your turn with a strength-based attack. To determine the extra damage, this is where it's cool, roll a number of d6s equal to your rage damage bonus and add them together. The damage has the same type as the weapon or unarmed strike used for the attack. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So what, at 3rd level, it's 2. It's +2, right? For your rage?
Yeah.
So you're adding 2d6 instead of just 2.
Yeah, your great axe.
2d6 might be 2, but it also might be 12. So
yeah, your great axe wielding barbarian is 1d12 plus 2d6 plus strength plus rage. Well, maybe not plus rage damage here. Is it instead of or in addition to?
I believe it's instead of. To determine the extra damage, roll a number. Yeah, I think. Interesting.
I think it's in addition to. You're going to see a lot more Berserkers out there if this is how it lands.
Yeah, that's hot.
This makes me want to play one.
Definitely.
Just saying.
I may or may not be playing a Barbarian, and something that we're doing right now that you'll find out about at some point. And man, I might have used that subclass if it existed back then.
Way back then. The rest of the Berserker here really is just kind of, it's not all that much to talk about. The frenzy is the main draw. So we want to go over the big highlights, the big changes. A lot of the rearranging things are fun, but we want to hear what your thoughts are on the Barbarian. And if you want to catch more of our thoughts on 1D&D or the rules update, we've got some videos on screen now. You should check them out because it's good for you. It's good for us. Everybody wins.